Now, I might want to ask, what is JavaScript? JavaScript is a programming language. In fact, this is the only programming language we'll be using because of this period, because of this bootcamp. So we are going to be using JavaScript. And what does JavaScript do to the web page? Like we said from the onset, JavaScript uh, adds functionality to our web page. If you are designing, maybe for instance, a web page that allows user to click a particular button and a response or something is going to take an effect for that button that is being clicked, that work is being done by JavaScript. Now, before you start using Java, normally when they created JavaScript was only built so that web pages can only view JavaScript through web pages. Like for instance, the only way you can view web page before now is by having view JavaScript is by having your web page open. Then you go to your option, you go to more tools, developer tools, then you go to console. If you have a JavaScript, you click on console, then you see a JavaScript there. This is the only way you can see JavaScript or access JavaScript there, other than it working on the web page normally. But in recent time, they introduced an open source cross-platform JavaScript runtime environment that allows developers to execute JavaScript code outside of a web browser, meaning you can execute JavaScript code outside this browser if you have the open source environment. And an example of that open source environment is called Node. So at the end of this class, or if those of you that are with your laptop on, you can go to your web browser and search for Node, or you can just use download Node.js. When you download Node.js, you look for this is the very first one that pops up is the site for downloading it. Click on download and install Node.js. If you are using a MacBook, you download it to your MacBook. If you are using a window, you download it to your window. When you download it, you install it, and that is the only way you can access or run your JavaScript code outside your browser. That's the only way you can run it outside your browser. So I can download for Windows, I can install it for Windows, and also change here by clicking here, clicking Mac, and installing it for MacBook. So I haven't downloaded.
Please, sorry to interrupt. Can we have the video, like the video class?
Sorry, I didn't share the screen. Sorry, let me quickly share my screen. So sorry about that. I thought I was sharing my screen. While I'm setting up the screen, like I said, the only way you can access, I want to believe you can see my screen now.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, so sorry about earlier. I said what I said earlier was before now, when people normally write JavaScript code, they can only view the JavaScript or execute JavaScript code using a browser, whereby when you have a browser and maybe for instance this web page has a JavaScript, you go to your options, then you go to more tools, developer tools. When you click on developer tools, a pop-up menu will come out. Then you click on console. When you click on console, you will see the JavaScript that you have done. You can execute the JavaScript code here. You can even write JavaScript code inside of this place and it will still work because it's a browser. But now they introduced an open source cross-platform JavaScript runtime environment. It's more like an environment where you can execute your JavaScript, or it allows you as a developer to execute your JavaScript code outside the browser. Now, the open source that they introduced was called Node. So go to your browser, click and search, download Node. Yes. Download Node.js to take it to something like this. Then you click on the site. As you can see, this one has Node.js, http nodejs.org download. Click on download to take it to a site where you can download the Node.js. Now you can download for either your MacBook if you're using an Apple laptop, or you download for Windows if you're using a Windows operating system. So when you download it, you install it. Having installed it, you go to your terminal and just write node npm-v. If you write node -v, it's going to show you the version, just like what we have here. If I copy this code down and go to my terminal, either this terminal or any terminal, paste it. If I paste and search for it, because I have already installed my node for my Node.js, I click on enter, it's going to show me the version of the node that I installed. If it doesn't show you the version of node that you install, meaning there is a problem, you have to download it again. As you can see, we have the version here. Now, I haven't said that is an open source. Now, from here, I don't really need a browser before I see my JavaScript that I've written. Here, I've written a JavaScript. And what is that JavaScript? Console.log hello from index.js. If I can run it here using, I'll teach you how to run it as the class progresses.
Sorry, well, class is recorded.
Yes, I'm recording the class. Thank you. Now, this is a JavaScript that I've written. I can run it easily here. I don't need to, or with any terminal, I don't need to always go to my browser and click on option and start looking for the code, which is another way I can look for it. Now, I haven't said that. Let's dive into the world of JavaScript properly. Like we said earlier on, JavaScript adds functionality to our codes. It adds functionality to our codes, and because it's a programming language, definitely it has syntax. All programming languages have syntax. If you can understand this particular programming language, you can easily switch to other programming languages and you won't have that much issues, right? Because they are all similar. They all have their own basic syntax and you can play around with it. Now, how do we get here? For you to start your JavaScript, before we have been learning HTML and CSS. We have been learning HTML and CSS. Now, for us to start our JavaScript code, we can write it inside HTML. I could come at the head, put my script there, or I could come to the bottom of the page and just use the script syntax. If I use scripts, here I can write my JavaScript code inside of here. I write my JavaScript code. As you can see, this is a JavaScript code. I can write it inside of this script. That is one way I can write it. The other way I could write it is having an external file for it, just like we did while we were learning CSS. Now, that is the proper way of doing it so that your web page won't look messy. Now, how do we do that? We come to our new file, click on new file, and just write the name we want to store it with. But this time around, we end it with .js because .js is the file extension for JavaScript. just like .html is the file extension for HTML, while .css is the file extension for cascading style sheets. So we have, let me just use index.js. I click enter, it means I've created a JavaScript file. Now, how do I link it to my browser or to my HTML file? I'll come back to my HTML file. I can link it in two ways. Either I link it at the bottom of the, just before the body, the closing tag of the body, or I link it on the head. Sorry, in the head. I can link it to scripts and link my scripts, just like we are linking CSS. Now you click on the name of the file .index.html. But it's not advisable you put your script on the head. Why? Because your code starts from the top. It starts reading from the top. Now it has to access the script first before it starts working on these ones. And sometimes it might become messy. Maybe, for instance, your JavaScript needs something to work. Maybe, for instance, you linked this H2 to the JavaScript. Now, it is reading this script and it is not seeing the H2. It will become a problem to make your system to might even crash. So the best way to link it is to always link it at the down, just immediately after every other thing. You link it just before the body, the closing tag of the body. You link your script there. Now here, you know that all the HTML, all the document must have loaded, so that if it is having something to do with any of them, the browser has already seen that particular. Maybe, for instance, it's looking for this div. If it has already seen this div, if it is running the script, it knows that this div is already there. Then it will not be a problem for it. So that's how we can link our JavaScript. Now, inside here, we can start writing our JavaScript. Now, for me to display what that JavaScript is, for me to check what has been written in that JavaScript, or if I have a code that I need to execute and I don't want to use my browser and I want to use my terminal because I have installed Node.js, all I have to do is to use the syntax node space the name of the file. What is the name of the file? Index.js. All right, index.js, and press enter. And it's going to run that code for me. It's going to run the index.js, but as you can see, there's nothing inside of it, so there's nothing to run. It's not going to display anything. As you can see, it did not display anything because there's nothing inside of it. Now, the very first code I would like us to get acquainted with is three codes first. Just take note of this code. We have console.log. If you have console.log, you put a bracket. Now you have to put what you want to display. This console.log is more like you are printing something out. You want the browser to print something out for you, or you want the user to see something. That is when you use console.log. Now, if it is a text, I'm going to wrap it inside the quotation mark, just like this. Hello, welcome to today's class. Hello, welcome to class today. Now, if I save this, I can run that code again, node.js, and press enter. It is going to display this hello, welcome to class today. As you can see, that is the console. Or I could go to my browser because I've already gone live here. As you can see, this JavaScript is linked to this media query HTML file. In this media query, it is here, and I've gone live for it. If I go over to the browser and click on option, more tools, and developer tools, I'm going to see that console that I have there, which is hello, welcome to class today. So that's the two ways we can view it. You can either view it through the console here, or So through the terminal here, or view it through the console in the browser. Now that is the first code that we have, console.log, which is to print something out. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me, please? Hello, are we there? All right. If I want to, if I need something from the user, I want the user to input something, I'm going to use the prompts. This one is console.log, remember? Now I want the user to type something. I'm going to use prompt. I'm going to use prompt. Maybe for instance, what is your name? Let's just use this one. Prompt, what is your name? What does that simply mean? If I come back to my browser and I refresh my page, you find out that I'll have a message here that is showing me what is your name. The meaning is asking me to input something. I cannot input my name, whichever name I want to input. I click OK, nothing is going to happen because that's the only thing I only said. I only said prompt, what is your name? So the first code we learned is console.log. The second one, now the next we're going to quickly learn is called the alert. Alert means, alert is more like a message. I want to alert something. It's more like a message. So you put it inside bracket too. Alert. Because is a message, I'm going to put it in a quotation mark. Now, when I do alert, welcome to class. So you see the difference between alert and console.log. Remember, console.log allows us to go and view it first. But alert this time around will not allow you to go and check this thing to just pop up like that prompt popped up. So alert is just going to show you like this. Welcome to class. So this is alert. We've seen alert, we've seen console.log, we've seen prompts. Now, I haven't done all this. Let's dive into JavaScript properly. Now we have variables. What are variables and how can we declare variables? What are variables and how can we declare variables? Variable is more like a storage location. It's a storage location that you store a value into. Like for instance, those of us that are acquainted with mathematics, we could say when we are dealing on when we're learning a particular topic in maths that has to do with alphabets, you find out that we could say x is equals to 2, meaning we are storing the value 2 inside x. So that x is called a variable. The x is a variable because we are using it to store something inside of it. So I could say name is equals to Badmus, meaning that Badmus is being stored inside the variable name called name. So that is a variable. Now, how can we declare a variable? We can declare variable in different ways, and the one we'll look at first is let. Now, let simply means let is a keyword. Let name equals to Mike or Mike. Because is a string, we'll soon look at data type, but let's look at this one first. Now we said let's name equals to Michael, and let's say let age equals to 30. It means we are storing T in the variable name age, and we are storing Michael in the variable name. So if I console.log name, if I console.log name, what is going to display my page is Michael. Michael is going to display, let's say node.js, node index.js. It's this slow. Let's use this one. Check. You find out that we have Michael display. Why? Because we console.log name. Let's refresh. That welcome to class is still showing. Oh, let's go and remove it, please. Let's remove this one. This one is still working. Is that what I have? That's okay. If I execute the code, I have not saved. Sorry, I've saved it. I've saved it. Let's check again. As you can see, you can easily get errors using JavaScript. You can easily get errors. Yeah, we just console.log. Because we console.log name, we are seeing Michael as the printout. When we check our browser, we are seeing Michael as the printout. We are not seeing the variable name, but we are seeing what is stored inside that variable. That is why we can see Michael out. The same way also we could say console.log age, and what is going to appear this time around is going to be which is 30. 30 is going to appear because we are console logging an age. 30 is appearing. Even if we check our browser, 30 is appearing. So that's one way we can declare a variable. This is called variable declaration. The other way we could declare a variable is by using const. It's by using const. You see const. Const means constant. And a let variable can change. A let variable can change, but a constant variable cannot change. Just like even in mathematics, when you have a constant, it doesn't change. I can say constant name equals to Michael. It means I cannot declare any other variable again called name to be Michael. Michael is not going to change. It will only remain Michael as a whole. If I console.log Michael, if I console.log Michael, or sorry, if I console.log name, if I console.log name, it is Michael that will still appear. Why? Because I made it a constant. Now, the difference between a constant and a let variable, like earlier we said let can change, but constant cannot change. If I declare here and I declare my name equals to Michael, I can't come down and say name is equals to something else. Name is equals to Badmus or Mary. It's going to flag error. If I save it and check, it's going to flag error for us. Why? Because we have declared name to be, as you can see, it is declaring error. It's telling us that Mary is being assigned, name already is assigned to something else, which is Michael, because we are using a constant. But when we change this constant and we use let name equals to Michael, and I come down and I say Mary is equals to let name again equals to Mary. If I save it because we are using a let, or even if I come down and I say name is equals to name and save it, because we are declaring, we did not declare it as a constant. What is going to appear now is Mary, no longer Michael. Why? Because we've changed it. Does anybody have a question thus far, please, before I continue? Please, does anybody have a question before I continue? Am I too fast or I should continue?
Yeah, fast. So for most of us, or for me anyway, I'm new or JavaScript is new to me. So if you can reduce your speed, it will be better for me.
Okay, okay. After I've had you can meet someone else. Isai, what do you think? Randy, what do you think? Am I too fast? Should I come over them again?
Yes, you can just come over again. Just slow down a bit.
Okay.
And I think
Randy,
screen is starting.
Yes, I
Can you
think
make it more
you
your
should
screen?
recap from the beginning again.
okay. Isai, you're saying my screen. What happened to my screen?
I said it's tiny, or is it because I'm using my phone? So can you bold it a little to just see it very
Okay,
well?
let me do it. Let me do that again. How to bold it again? How about now? I just increase the size. How about now?
Okay, I think it's better now.
Okay. Now, okay, let's go over it again. Let's go over it again. He said we are looking at declaring a variable. I want to believe we all understood what prompt is, what console.log is, and what uh, alert is. I said prompt. If you want to ask the user for something, you want the user to type in something, you use prompts. And in brackets, a message or anything you want the user to prompt. It could be prompt what is your name. Now, if you use prompts, if you save it and check in your browser, if I refresh my page, you find out that I'll get a message here. This message is asking me what is my name. Now I will have to impute my name. If my name is Dennis, I can put Dennis or whichever thing I put. If I click OK, nothing is going to happen because that's the only thing I used just to prompt. That is what prompt does. Now, the other thing we could use is alerts. Alert is more like a message. You want to drop a message on the screen. That is when you use alert. If I use alert, what is your name? It is not going to require me to put something back, but it's going to show as a message what is your name because I only use what alert. Why console.log is more like you are printing something. Console.log is more like you are printing this message. If you save it, even if you refresh, you won't see it except you go to the console. That is why it's called console.log. Now, when I click on my developer tools, this is only where I can see that thing I want to print, which is what is your name. So this one is a bit different from the prompt. Is a bit different from the alert. Alert just displays the message irrespective for you. Why the prompt is going to ask you for something. Why the console.log? You are going to see it on the console when you check the browser. So that is the three codes we quickly learned tonight. And we made mention of variable. I said variable is more like a storage location that stores a particular value or a particular data. I said, take for instance, in mathematics, you could have x is equals to 2y, or x is equals to 2, or x is equals to teju. So whichever one you have here, that teju is the data that is being stored inside the variable name called what? X. Now I said we have ways we could declare a variable. We could declare a variable using the keyword let. Let is a keyword. If I say keyword, you can call it a keyword or a reserved word. You can't use it for any other thing other than what it is meant for. And what is this let meant for? It is meant for declaring a variable. Now, when I say let name be equals to media query example, this is an example. Let name be equals to media query example. I could say console.log name in brackets name. If I save it, it means I want to print out this word media query example. It is not going to print out name. It's not going to print out this name because this name is the variable that you stored what inside media query example. Now, when we check our browser, if we go back to the developer tool, you find out that on the console you see that message media query example. Now I said a let, if you use let to declare a particular variable, that variable can still change. Why? Because you are using the keyword let. Now if I come down and I say let name again, let name be equals to something else, media query example 2. If I save it and I only do console.log name, it is going to neglect this first one. Why? Because it starts counting from up. It starts executing from up. When it gets to this line 2, it will check let name equals to media query example. It's going to store media query example inside the name variable. Now, if it comes down to 4, it now sees another let name again equals to media query example 2. It's going to carry this media query example 2 and replace it with the first one, which is media query example. Now, when we save and check our console, we find out that, okay, sorry, we're having an error. Let's quickly remove that let. Let's say name again. This is another way we could declare a variable by just using name, by just writing the variable name and giving it a data or the value you want. If I save it and check, you find out that it's not going to print out that media query example again, but rather it's printing out media query example 2. Why? Because we have replaced it. We said name is equals to something else. So that is what a let does. This is one way we could declare a variable. This is another way we can declare a variable. I can come here and say age equals to 30. Because I did not use any keyword let or this thing, the JavaScript is already knowing that I am putting this value 30 inside the variable name age. Now, when I console.log age and save it, what is going to appear is 30 because the age is 30. Now, if I come down and I said, oh, age is no longer 30 again, or age is something else. Age is equals to 40. Age is equals to 40 and save it. It's going to neglect this first age. Yes, it has seen the age that it is 30 years before. Now it is coming down and it's seeing another age equals to 40. It's going to neglect this first one and use the second one, which is what? 40. That is what you are going to see. If I say, oh, the age now has increased, and I say age now is equals to age plus 20. Now this is what it's going to do. It's going to carry the previous value of age, which is this 40, because that's the most recent value of age. It's going to carry this 40 and apply it here and say 40 plus 20. When we save it and console.log age, what we are going to see is what is the previous age, 40, and what is the new one, 20. We are going to see 60 there. because it has added the previous value of age and added it to what? 20. That's why we are saying 60. Another way we could declare a variable, we have seen two ways of declaring a variable. One is by just writing the name of the variable and giving it a value. The second one is using the keyword let. Now, this other one is tricky, which is constant or const. We declare it using const, age equals to 30. Now, this const simply means you don't want the variable to change. There's no amount of thing you are going to do to that variable that is going to make it to change. That is why you are using a const. Now, if you save it and check, it's going to be 30 because we const age equals to 30. Now, if I come down and I say age is now equal to 31, it will bring out error. Why? Because we have already declared that first age to become a constant, so we can't have it again to become something else. So if I save it and check, you find that it's going to bring out error. You have an error issue. This red time says showing you have one error. What is the error? Uncaught assignment to constant variable. You have already have a constant variable. You are assigning something else to that constant. It is not going to work. Why? Because you declared it using a constant. Does anybody have a question based on that, please? Hello, does anybody have a question based on that? Or we now understand what a variable is and how we can declare a variable?
Please, the variable that does not change is called what?
Constant. I declare it with const. Const, the name of the variable and the value. Any other person? All right, so let's continue. That is the first thing we have learned. We have seen variable and now we can declare variables. Now let's see what we can do using JavaScript. In our JavaScript, we can have mathematical expressions. We can have a mathematical expressions to it. So before we do that, let's see what data type is. It's very important, even if that's where we stop tonight. What are data type? Data type in JavaScript, we have several data types. They represent different types of information. Every information or every data in JavaScript has different type of information. Like we have numbers, we have text, we have true or false, we have and so on and so forth. So we are going to look at different data type and how we can declare it. Remember we said let age be equals to 30 or age is equals to 3. This 3 is a number. This 3 here is a number. So it is a number data type. It is a number data type. It is a number data type. You could have numbers that have full stop to, points. Like for instance, let price be equals to 99.99. It is a number data type. Another data type we could have is called a string data type. A string data type, and a string is being accompanied with either a single quote or a double quote. Now this is a string data type. John is a string. Because it is inside a double quote, it becomes a string. John, because it is inside a double quote, it becomes a string data type. So anything that has a quote that is enclosed in a quotation mark is called a string data type. I could say let's address be equal to 23. let address be equals to 23. If I save it, this 23 here, remember ordinarily it is a number, but because it is being enclosed in a quotation mark, it is now a what? A string. It is now a string. Now, how do I really know a particular data type? Is by using the type of expression. If I use type of syntax, if I say type of first name, before we go over that, let's just list all the data, most of the data types that we have. So we have a number data type where you have numbers. We have a string data type where you have a string. If I say type of console dot, I want to print it because I want to print it. If I say console dot log type of address. If I save it, I want to know the data type of address. Remember, address is this. I want to know the data type of address. If I come to my browser and check, let me refresh. It's going to tell me it is a string. As you can see, that is the type of the data type. I used console.log type of. This type of is a keyword or a reserved word. Whenever you want to know the data type of a particular variable, you use type of and the name of the variable. It's going to tell you it's going to tell you the type of data that is being stored inside that variable. Now I have address as a string. If I put first name there too, it's going to show me the type of data that I have inside that first name, which is what also a string. It is also a string. If I say what is the data type of age, it's going to show me that it is a number. That is a data type. So we have the data type of string and we have the data type of numbers. We also have data type of Boolean. We have Boolean data type, and Boolean data type either takes in true value or a false value. Only those two, true value or false value. Sorry, false. True value or false value. If I say let's age, sorry, we have used age before. Yes is approved equals to true and is declined equals to false. Just like you are applying for a job and you say if it is approved, let it be true, and if it is false, if it is declined, let it be false. I can check the data type of that is approved. What is going to tell me that it is a Boolean data type because it carries either a true value or a false value. So that's the three we can look at tonight. We have the number data type, we have the string data type, and we have the what? Boolean data type. These are three different data types that you could have. Now let's quickly see little additions or operations, arithmetic operations we can have using we can do with our JavaScript. We have the addition operator. We're looking at different operators that we could have. We have the addition operator, whereby we can use it to add two numbers. Like for instance, let sum be equals to 10 plus 5. We already know this is going to give us 15. So if I say console log sum, it means I want to console log this. What's the total of this one? If you check your browser, it's going to give you 15. Now, the first one that I claimed before, which is in brackets sum, equals sum. Console log sum plus sum. If I save it and check, it's going to tell you sum equals to 15 or sum colon 15. Why? Because I'm using this. Now this, we are going to come back to this so you understand what this really is. Another operator we could do is subtraction. Subtraction has to do with difference. We have this subtraction operator, which has to do with minus or difference between two numbers, 10 minus 5, just like a normal this thing. And I say console log, let me say total equals to difference. Because it's difference, I want to console log. I want to console log this answer. So if I save it, it's going to do 10 minus 5 and give me the answer as total. Total is becoming 5 when you minus 5. Now the next one we could do is called multiplication. We have the multiplication operator where we can use it to multiply two numbers together, 10 times 5, and it's use the asterisk key. Let product be equals to 10 times 5. So it can be total equals to this plus product. And when we save and check, you find out that it's going to multiply the answer for us and give us 50. And lastly, we have the division operator. Division operator is going to give us coefficient, or this is how you use the division operator, slash, / as product equals to quotient. If I save and check, you find out that it's going to give us the divisor. When you divide 10 by 5, the answer is going to give you 20. So these are operators that we have. We have more too, but these are the basics that we can have. We have the addition operator, we have the subtraction operator, we have the multiplication operator, and we have the division operator, which is the quotient operator. Now, with all these, we can easily build something that is going to add up different things. Now, when you add, the reason why this is correct is because we are adding, the data type is the same. This is a number data type and this is a number data type. What if we have a string data type and we have a number data type and want to add them together? Yes, it is possible we can add them, and it's called concatenation. It's called concatenation. When you are trying to add, you can even add string together. Like for instance, I can say first name. Let first name equals to, so we have a first name before, John, and second name equals to do. Let me go and remove that first name that we have there. Okay. Now if I say let first name equals to John and let last name equals to do, I can add these two strings together. I can say console log first name plus last name. What is going to appear is John Doe. Without space, because I added first name and last name together. What if I want to add a space to it? Because it is a string, even space 2 is a string. So I can put my quotation mark and my quotation mark and add another plus to it. So what we have just done, we have done first name plus an empty quotation mark plus the last name. Now it's going to create a space there for us. Sorry, we did not give space in our quotation mark. The space in the quotation mark, save it and check. It's going to give us that space. So that's how you can add space to two different strings and add them together. Now, if we take a very good practical example that we can have, we can say, let's add two different numbers together, or let's subtract two different numbers together. We could say, let's number one, or let's take a very good practical example whereby we make our browser or our computer to talk to us. We could use, from what we've learned thus far, let's just create one app that is going to allow our computer to talk to us. We could say prompt, what is your name? The message should be, please enter your name. Please enter your name. Now, when the user gives us the name, what should happen again? We could say, just alert, welcome, with that name, or sorry, prompt name. Sorry, let's name. Let's declare the name. Let's name be equals to. So whatever the user prompts here should be saved inside the name variable. Sorry, 1 minute. Okay, I said let's name equals to prompt. So the user can put whatever the user puts here should be stored inside me. And we can say alert hello with that name that the user put, whatever name the user put, and we put a command, welcome to my app. Let's use an app. Welcome to my app. Now, I haven't done that. After alerting, what should happen? You should prompt again. Let's prompt what is your favorite color? Prompt what is your favorite color? We'll save it. What should we alert this time? We should alert great. Let's add this one to become the color. Let's color equals to prompt user. So it's going to be alert great name, which is the name that we have used before, comma, the color that you selected is my favorite color too. Now, when we save this and check on our console, we find out that immediately it is prompting us to enter our name. If I use my name, G, and click OK, it's going to tell me, hello G, welcome to my app. If I click OK, it's going to prompt me what is my favorite color. If I say blue and click OK, it's going to respond. Sorry, it's not responding, so maybe there's something. G, blue. It's going to tell me great, G, blue is my favorite color. So this is one particular little project you can work on using your JavaScript. Does anybody have a question thus far? Please, do we have a question?
See your screen again. VS Code.
Okay. That's the last code we just did, which is this. Let's name equals to, we are declaring a variable called name, and we are putting whatever the user puts here. We are putting it inside name. That is why we can alert hello. Remember, this hello is a string because it is enclosed in a quotation mark plus the name that we used here or whatever the user puts there plus welcome to my app, comma welcome to my app is another string. That is why you have it like that. The same thing with the color. That's what we have for the color too. Does anybody have a question again? If you don't have a question, I would like to ask few questions and I'll direct
I
the
have a
question.
question.
Okay.
So when you run the code, so the information you inputted when you write green. So where are you going to see it?
It's still there. You still see it on the screen. Let me refresh it again. See, this is because we are using prompt and alert. Remember, we are using prompt and alert. If we use console.log, we are not going to see it here. We are going to see it when we click on our file option, more, but because we are using just prompt and alert. Now, when we go to our browser, this one is prompt because it is requesting you to put something. So it is asking you what, please enter your name. Whatever I put here is going to collect it and save it in the variable name called name. So if I say Bob, I click OK. The next code that we have there is what? Alert. What should it alert? It should alert hello, the name that you imputed, which is Bob, and welcome to my app. Now, when you click OK again, it's going to prompt you again because we use prompt. What is your favorite color? If I put green as my favorite color and click OK, the next code we use was alert. It now alert us again. Great, Bob, green is my favorite color too. I want to believe I have answered your question because we are using prompt and alert. That's why we can see it directly there. I've answered the question, officer.
Yes. So the what I wanted to ask is that user click on cancel.
Sorry, so what?
I said if the user click on cancel, there's okay
Yes,
to
yes.
impute SSD.
If you click on cancel, it's going to
Cancel.
cancel.
Yes.
Yes. When you click on cancel, look at what it tell you. Hello, null. Welcome to my app because it's not put anything. If you click OK, it will run the second one again. If you click cancel, it's going to tell you great. None is my favorite color. Why? Because it did not accept anything. So cancel doesn't really work. Cancel doesn't really work.
Okay.
Uh, does anybody have any other question? Randy, do you have a question, please?
No, no, no. No, I don't have any
So,
question.
so you understand everything for tonight?
Not everything, sha, but I will go over the video again for more
Okay,
clarification.
when you
I
when you
got
watch
lost at some point.
that is why I'm asking which point did you get lost so we can quickly look at it again and see if we can agree
Mm,
on it. Or you prefer watching the video on your own?
it's majorly about the string type. The string type.
Okay, I said string is when you enclose something in a quotation mark, it becomes a string. When you enclose something in a quotation mark, it becomes a string. I can say name is equals to, if for the fact that I put it inside a quotation mark, either a single quote or a double quote, it becomes a string. Anything I put here now is a string. Anything I put here now is a string. If I say type of, I want to know the type of data that we have inside this name, I can say type of. If I only use type of name, it is not going to show me anything. Nothing is going to show me because I did not console.log it. But if I console.log because I want to see it, I put it inside brackets,
Okay.
it will now display. I console.log name and save it. Go back to my browser and refresh, check my more tools, developer tools. It's going to show me the type of that to become. I'm sorry, is I'm console.log in name. Sorry, I'm supposed to console.log type of name. Of name. It's going to now tell me what type of data did I store inside this name. Remember, because it is enclosed in quotation mark, it becomes a string. So it's going to tell me it is a string. So that's how you know a string. Whenever something is enclosed in a quotation mark, you know it is a string. Do you have a question? If you don't have any other question, you can end the class here. I've extended the previous assignment to next week Sunday. Please try as much as possible to submit your assignment on or before that Sunday. And lo and behold, I'm going to set another assignment. I'm going to give another assignment for JavaScript. I'm going to give you some things that you have to create out using JavaScript, but they'll be basically what we learned tonight, so that I can be able to do them and submit them. The deadline for submission will still be next week Sunday. So you are submitting 2 assignments on or before next week Sunday. So if we don't have any other question again, we can call it the night. Does anybody
All
have
right,
any
thank
other
you.
question? All right. Good night, Fisayo. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a blessed week ahead. Good night, everyone.